court to God. The white man is the devil.
You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that. Let bygone be. Boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass you to profit. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up for parole. Because of the COVID, it feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know there's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know what I'm saying, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world to know. Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, Jeremiah, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass shit. Oh, I'm with step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go, let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with you. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slave. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, got your baby pass through the fire. Ain't she the prophets? That baby so belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop it, ass she the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass she the prophets. Give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Any man give his life for YAHANNA, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner, is my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground. Nah, this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not
Shalom Israel, Yehovah Hashem Yoshai Brakatah, Salakia, Yehovah Hashem Yoshai Brakatah to the brothers, Yehovah Shemai Ladam Hashem Yoshai to the sisters. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of one west, 125th, one west street, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. We teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, God's chosen people. Okay, we'll run through what we've got going on in the class. We've got a lot of things going on, and then we'll get straight into the class. Tonight's Monday law class. Okay, so Monday night is the law class. Tuesday night is the brotherhood class. Wednesday night is the history class. Thursday night is the scripture breakdown class. Friday night, we have the Lashwan Kodash class, the Most High's Holy Tongue. Then Friday night, all the classes are from 7 till 9, streamed live on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Three of the classes live in the school every week are the Monday night law class, the Wednesday night history class, and the Thursday night scripture breakdown class. From 9 o'clock till 11 on a Friday night after Lashawan Kodash, after the language class, is our live radio show on the ends. That's with Captain Karafia and Officer Dungabar. Then Saturday morning in the school, we have a Saturday Sabbath service from 10 to 11. And then from 12 till 5, we hit the concrete for street camp. 1 week is Birmingham City Centre, and this next week is London Central. I believe it's Piccadilly. Okay, so that's what we've got going on in the school. A lot going on in the school. Okay, tonight's class. Okay, we've got a feast day coming up on Wednesday, the 16th of October, the Feast of Tabernacles. This time of the year is a busy time of the year. A lot of feast days. Salakia.
Yes, this week.
We've had a lot of feast days together this time of the year. We've had the Day of Atonement last week. We had the Memorial of Blowing Trumpets, and on Wednesday, the 16th of October, we've got the that is Wednesday coming. We've got the Feast of Tabernacles. If you fit the bloodline and lineage of the Lord's chosen people, the 12 tribes of Israel, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, our door is open for all the feast days and for every class. So you're welcome. Get yourself down to 394 Lodge Road, Ockley, Birmingham. We'll give you the postcode at the end of the class. B18 5PW. That's the postcode. That's the address to the school. So 3 live classes in the week: Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The feast days, which we will always announce in the classroom, live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So there's no excuses, Israel. You will always know when the feast days are, so you can start to learn your traditions and your culture as it was taught by the priests and prophets of the Most High God in our records, the Holy Bible, the King James Version, 1611. Okay, and no longer will you have to be a pagan, celebrating pagan holidays and pagan feast days like Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, the Independence Day, carnivals, 4th of July, so on and so forth, which are an abomination to the Lord and to the Most High God. They are nothing to do with us, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, we have 9 feast days of the year, 7 of them being lawful: the Holy Sabbath, Feast of First Fruits, Unleavened Bread, Passover, Day of Atonement, Tabernacles, Feast of Trumpets, and then the two that are not lawful to keep. Well, when I say lawful, it's not against the law not to keep them. You don't have to keep them by law. as Moses recorded, the prophet Moses, but we keep them because they are given to us as memorials or feast day, and they are the Feast of Dedication and the Feast of Purim, and these are feast days that are coming up. Okay, so any questions in the class, raise your hand. We'll get straight to your questions. Any questions online, type them in the StreamYard, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can, and we'll answer all questions in class. Okay, tonight's class is called Finding a Wife in Israel, Part 1. Okay, Finding a Wife in Israel, Part 1. And why we say that there's no law recorded by Moses in the first 5 books, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. There's no law saying that an Israelite has to marry in his lifetime. There is no law recorded by Moses saying that. But not being a law doesn't mean it's unlawful or lawful to marry or not marry. We're encouraged to marry because God said it's a good thing, and you will find favor with the Most High God to find a wife. Okay, next week or the following week, we'll do the part 2 on this class, which is finding a husband. But this week is finding a wife. The topic is finding a wife in Israel, part 1. And we've got protocol in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, and we get this protocol from our records, the Holy Bible. And that protocol teaches us to teach the young men and women and sisters that come into this school, whether they be students or whether they want to learn or whether they've just got questions, whether they're potential troopers and officers, captains and so on, that there's a 6-month period where the sisters and the brothers that come in fresh off the concrete are to be saluted only. Okay, and the reason for that is because they're shedding themselves of the world, of all the demonic spirits that are clinging to them. Yes. You know, all their pagan celebrations we just spoke about, Christmas, their sexual deviances, whatever they may be, they might be big on adultery, sleeping with other men's wives, watching pornography, so on and so forth. Whatever your sexual abomination is, then you'll be here and you'll be shedding yourself of them worldly demonic experiences, them demonic spirits that are clung to you. And we'll teach you how to shed yourself of your demons. Okay? Because it's one thing with the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. We've been taught these things because they are our records. And they are lawful. And they are statutes and they are commandments from the Most High God. Okay, so this is where we get our protocol from. There's a next 6-month period. After the first 6-month period, we'll be saluting our one another, where you can take a sister or a brother's phone number and start courtship. You'll get permission from the head of the school to start courting. After that 6-month period, which is now a year, you will approach the head of the school, head of your school, and get permission to marry. Either the Most High God favors the marriage or he does not. And that is our protocol, and all our protocol is from our records, the Holy Bible. This is a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian history book. This was written by the 12 tribes of Israel, priests and prophets that came from one of the 12 tribes of Israel. They are our records and nobody else's. That's right. Okay, so today's any questions? Any questions in the stream? Any questions before we start? No, it's okay. Okay, so tonight's topic, finding a wife in Israel. Okay, and what could that entail? Finding a wife in Israel. Well, what we spoke about already, we have protocol. That we've built this protocol in and around the laws of the Bible. So we find the favor of the Most High God. So there's a certain type of woman in Israel there's a certain type of woman that our brothers, our men should be looking for. Right. Okay, and it's not the modern day woman, modern day black, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian woman that lives in the world, that comes from the world. Can anybody answer me why the sisters that are living in the world up in that Christian church, even the Islamic mosque, the ones that are in the Rastafarian doctrine, why they are not suitable candidates for marriage or to be wives?
Because of your religion?
That could be a part of it, but something a bit more specific.
Your culture?
Well, they have no culture. They've adopted a heathen culture because they're not in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. If they was in our school learning the oracles of the Most High God, learning their history and traditions, they would have their culture. They're not in the I.S.U.P.K. They're coming in to shed themselves of the world. If that's the case, so they're not. They have no tradition. They have no culture. Why they're in that world? So do you want to have a go, Mosa?
They're indoctrinated in this pagan religion, and they have no sense of direction because nobody's really teaching them about their history in the church. That's right. Okay, so the women that are in these religions that are in this world, they are not of the spirit of the Most High God. If they were, they would be in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, the home of the truth, the One West doctrine. They're in some Christian church. They're listening to some imam in the mosque, some Rastafarian elder in our community, teaching them things that are not in our records. Remember, Christianity, Islam, and Rastafarianism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Hinduism, none of these man-made religions we find in the world and we find our people stuck in are in our records. Not one of them. You can't find one of them in our records. So to be righteous, to be virtuous, because the Bible says we must be looking for a virtuous woman as a wife. You have to be, you have to understand our records first and know who you are, what happened to us, and where you're at, and where you should be going, to know that you are a virtuous woman. And the only place you can do that is in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, the home of the truth. That's right. Okay, so tonight's topic is finding a wife in Israel. Okay, so we're gonna have a quick look at a video first, and okay, we're gonna have a look at the ins and outs of what we should be looking for in a wife and why our men are straying amongst the heathen women, the heathen nations, the Indian women, the Arab women, the Caucasian women, the African women. Why are our men, why are we struggling to have strong families? Because we don't struggle in the I.S.U.P.K. We don't struggle. If you've got a wife and you've got a family in the I.S.U.P.K, that is a strong family and a strong foundation. Why? Because we're always referring to our records, okay? The Bible, which is our records and nobody else's. The heathens don't live by this. The other nations don't live by these records. But we do in the I.S.U.P.K under the command of General YAHANNA, because these records pertain to us and us alone. So let's have a look at the video, and we're gonna just depict it a little bit and have a look at why our men are straying away from our so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women. And then we're going to have a look at what we should be doing to find a wife in Israel. And we're going to go dip into the law for this. So run that when you're ready, Mosa. Baba Kasha.
Holiday early with a £0 deposit and free kids places feels like.
So women of a different nationality tend to be more submissive than Black women, and because of that reason, our black men are going to those different nationalities to find a woman, find a wife, right? So in my personal opinion, I just feel like those women know where they come from, right? They know their culture. They're taught their culture. And within that culture, it's taught to them that you're supposed to be submissive to your man. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is not up for negotiation nor debate. That's just what it is, right?
Right, absolutely. And I agree with that statement that she just made 1000%. Why is it that today's black women with the modern woman mindset, they're always arguing and trying to debate about submission? Okay. This is very plain and simple.
Make sure that put me back on Barbara Kasha, and we'll come back to that. We'll come back. Lady says, we're gonna dip into this. We're gonna deep it, because this is forgot who we are.
That's right, sir.
We have inherited their traditions and their cultures.
Yes.
And as the Bible teaches, our women are supposed to be soft and tender.
Yes.
Our women have grown into almost men.
Yes.
They've grown into harsh, non-submissive gender that don't want to listen to their men, don't want to take directions from their men, don't want no order in the household where the man brings order. And that's why we find so many one-parent families. And this stems from Christianity and the Christian church, where you will be taught as a so-called black woman or Hispanic native Indian woman that if your man's not right, if he's not bringing enough bread home, if he's not doing this, that, and the other, leave him. Leave him. Either seek another man, a new husband, or raise your children by yourself. The state will help you. And not only the Christian church teaches this, the states, the Western states, the Western governments teach this. And this is what's brought about confusion amongst our people and our sisters. So-called black, Hispanic, and native Indian. It's hardened our hearts, our women's hearts. So our women have lost that spirit of submissiveness, that virtuous, because a virtuous woman, all a virtuous woman is to be righteous. She's a righteous woman. And a righteous woman, according to the Bible, is soft and tender. Now you can see around all our estates, in all our communities, there's not many women left that are soft and tender. There's a lot of women that are raising the children in the home. The kids are coming from broken families. The women don't care. They're getting state money to support, and they believe that they are the man of the house. They wear the trousers or the so-called pants, as the heathens call it, and they don't care that their man's gone or left or in jail or wherever he is in absence. Are we following this?
That's right.
And this is the problem with our women. Our women have lost that submissive spirit that was given to them by the Most High God. Our women have become harsh, hard, plotters, schemers against their men. Where the Bible says that our women should be soft and tender. We shouldn't be like these other women from these other heathen nations. We shouldn't be behaving like they are. When you look at, but saying that, yeah, it's few and far between, because when you look at a Caucasian woman, she's a classic example of a harsh, hardened woman that will probably have 8, 9, 10 husbands in her lifetime. Yeah?
That's right.
Or 15, 20 men in her lifetime, because they don't believe what we believe, that sex is marriage. But then when you go a little further out of Europe and you start meeting Asiatic women, Arab women, these women don't seem to have a problem with being submissive to their men. Well, not Not all of them, but the numbers, the stats are higher than where we are in Europe and over the Western Hemisphere, where we was brought through the transatlantic slave trade. So it's mainly through the Western Hemisphere. It's their doctrine that's been pushed on our women through the slave trade and made our women coarse, angry, agitated, and behaving like how they behave. Okay, and that is one of the reasons our men, our brothers, turn to these other nations, African women, Indian women, Arabs, that they can bark orders, and these women will do as they're damn well told. Do you understand? They will play their position, especially if they think the prize, their pot of gold, is a so-called black, Hispanic, or native Indian man, who were the greatest men that God ever put on this green earth. And we forget that, Israel. We forget that. Run the video, Baba Kashar, Officer Moser.
So no.
Yeah, don't forget to share it. After you play it, share it. Yeah, so these are the things we've got to be looking at. When you're ready, when you're playing the video, get me Genesis 2:18, Baba Kashar. And these are the things. This is what our sisters have inherited, and it's made it.
The reason why black men, they're looking elsewhere is
Just
because
pause it for
way
me
too
one
many
sec.
black women.
So this is compromised our traditions in our women, because they believe now it's normal to have a hardened heart. Our women believe it's normal now to be harsh and coarse and raise their children by themselves, especially if they're getting help from the state. Run that for me, Baba Kashar.
Refuse to cooperate. They want to debate and argue over the most simple things: cooking, cleaning, being respectful, carrying yourself the right way, listening to your man, being under the authority and leadership of a man, being covered by a man so that you get that protection that you're always talking about you need. It's still very annoying that we even have to have conversations like this about the basic dynamics of a relationship. We're talking about the basic prerequisites for a working, healthy, long-term relationship. It's crazy the amount of time that's spent on that when the whole process should come naturally.
Discover the new Gaza Learning Center, brought to you by UMA. In the heart of Gaza,
niggas is scared because, especially now more than...
Stop that. Go back to the video. All I told you is to put the, that's it, put the comments on. Go back to the original video.
Yeah, that's the original video.
Huh?
That's the original video?
No, it's not. You've gone off. You've gone on to another video. Yeah, Salakia in the audience. Sorry for that. Just give Officer Moser a few minutes. We'll be back onto the video.
Another one? Tip from black woman? No.
That's not the video. Come out of that. Go off of that. You're going to have to go back into...
Just keep research.
Yeah, go back into the video. Okay, while Officer Moser is looking for the video that he's just come out of, we'll go into, I'm going to read Genesis 2:18, because let's have a think. What should we be looking for when we're looking for a wife? When you're looking for a wife or finding a wife in Israel, what are the things we should be looking for in a wife? Okay, well, first of all, we should be looking for a virtuous woman. What does virtuous mean? Let's have a look in the Zandervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Okay, so virtuous, if it's in here, from my understanding, it's a righteous woman. Let's see what the Zandervan says. Okay, virtue. Okay, so virtuous is not in here, but virtue is. Virtue. Okay, so a virtuous woman is a woman according, because the term virtuous stems from the term virtue, which is high morals. Okay, virtue means to be moralistic, yeah, which would come under the moral laws. Okay, and we've got a lot of moral laws in the first 5 books of our records, the records of the prophet Moses. Okay, so a virtuous woman is a woman that has high morals, which would make her righteous. Okay, so let's have a look what the Most High God says in Genesis 2:18. How are you getting on with that video, Mozart? You're gonna have to find it. Ring Captain Karathia and ask him to come and get it back for you. Okay, the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18. And the Lord Yahweh said, it is not good that man should be alone. Okay, so here the Most High God is saying, man on his own, there's something missing here. The man needs something, and that something would be companionship, would be a helper, aid, so to speak. Let's go on and read. And the Lord Yahweh said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him. Okay, does anybody know what the Most High God means when he says a help or meet for him? What's that mean?
Somebody to give him support, to support him.
Support.
To support him.
Okay, it doesn't mean a slave.
Yes, that's right.
It doesn't mean a servant.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean an equal, like you hear in the Christian church. Yeah. It means an aid. Mm-hmm. Now, if I need help at work and I employ somebody, mm-hmm. what is that person going to be? And I'm not going to use the term submissive because that's not the correct term. That person's going to be there to help me.
That's right.
He's not going to be there to backchat.
Yes.
He's not going to be there to give orders.
Right.
He's not there as my equal. He's there to work for me. He's there to help. That's what the woman has been put here for. And that's where this term submission comes from. Yes. A woman, your wife should be submissive, yes, because she is your property. That's right. She is your possession. Mm-hmm. And this is a woman that you're going to have children with and take care of for the rest of your life. You're going to be her protector, the family protector. So she needs to be a virtuous woman. She needs to be a righteous woman. Yes. She needs to be a woman of high morals.
Yes.
Sorry, what's the video going again? Sorry, what's it called? I lost it.
The video.
I got it here.
Yeah. Okay. So Genesis 2:18. We're going to drop that to the video. Okay. Genesis 2:18. If you find me 1 Corinthians 7:2. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. That's one of the things we're looking for. We're going to go into the law and see what else we should be looking for according to the laws of the Most High God. When you're ready, Moses, I'll play that.
The book of 1 Corinthians 7.
No. Play the video, the rest of the video. So the lady says that the narrator says the basic exquisites for a relationship, and that is, what is that? That is a woman being submissive to her man, not challenging him at every every point, every conversation, every decision to be made. Let the men be the men and let the women be the women, according to our records. And this is what we've lost in this world. And this is what our sisters will gain back coming through this door, 394 Lodge Road, coming into the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA. You're going to get our traditions back. You're going to learn to be submissive again. You're going to learn that it's normal to listen to your husband. It's normal to not be dictated to, but to be guided by your husband. That's what he's there for. What kind of woman, let me ask you a question. What type of woman wants a man that will open a door for her, but watch her get beat up in the bar or in the club and not protect her? What type of woman wants a man that will take her for dinner, but not change her tire when her car's broken down? And that's not to say a woman cannot change her own tire, but there's certain things in life that men are built for, and there's certain things in life that women are built for, and we've lost our way. Not just the sisters, the men as well.
That's right.
The men are built for the battlefield. Women are not built for the battlefield. So why are our women in the nightclubs and in the bars fighting? And half of them are fighting men. And over men. Drunk and disorderly, and all kinds of nonsense. Breaking all kinds of laws that we've been set in place that will bring us back to our culture and traditions and take us out of that wicked world that we're lost in. Okay, run the rest of that video, Barbara Shaw. Okay. And there we have it. The narrative's covered a lot of what we're talking about, but obviously we don't agree with everything she's saying. We don't agree with everything the sister's saying on the video, because she's coming with terms and conditions. Well, according to the Bible, according to the laws of the Most High God, there are no terms and conditions. You're either a virtuous woman or you're not. Get me 1 Corinthians 7:2, Barbara Kashar.
The book of 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife.
Let what?
Let every man have his own wife.
Okay, and there you have the order. This is the Apostle Paul speaking. This is the Apostle Paul. Okay, and only choose a wife with no husband. He's telling you right there. Let every man have his own wife. So if that woman's got a husband already, and we'll have a look at the law. We'll have a look at the law in Leviticus, in the book of Leviticus. If a woman is messing with a man already, having sex with a man already in the world, because they don't believe in the world that sex is marriage. They don't believe up in that Christian church that sex is marriage. But according to our records, when you have sex with a woman, you're married to her, and that is for life. You can't divorce the woman. You can't put the woman away. You can't leave the woman because you've seen something around the corner that takes to your eye is more fanciful to you. Okay, once you sleep with a woman, you are bonded with her for life, according to the Most High God. Read that again, Barbara.
The book of 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication.
To avoid what?
To avoid fornication.
What is fornication?
Sleeping around with somebody.
Fornication is a breaking of the sex or marital laws. That is fornication. Doing something concerning sexual activities which is against the law.
That's right.
Okay, there's many There's many abominations that are fornication. Okay, adultery is fornication, sleeping with a man's wife. Homosexuality, bestiality, these are fornications. These are illegal sexual acts. Read on.
Look on. And let every woman have her own husband. Okay,
so every man should have his own wife, and every wife should have her own husband. Now, the Apostle Paul didn't record this so that a man could, like what they teach in the Christian church, a man could only take one woman and only have one wife. Yeah, but if that's what pleases you as a man, as a brother, okay, there's men in the I.S.U.P.K that have got 3-4 wives. Okay, there's men in the I.S.U.P.K that have got one wife. Okay, you might see yourself as having 2-3 wives as being too much to deal with. Some men in the I.S.U.P.K only require one wife, and that's fine. That's fine. But according to Genesis 2:18, that help is needed. You shouldn't be on your own. Okay? You should go out and find a wife. And in that, you will find favor with the Most High God. Okay? So let's get this clear so we know what's going on and what we're talking about. Give me Proverbs 31:10, Baba Kashar. Okay, so you brothers, you don't need to be alone. But when you're looking for a wife, when you're looking for a woman, in the I.S.U.P.K, we know what we're looking for in a woman. And any brothers coming into this school should know how to find a wife in Israel, because the blueprint is right here. Yeah. It's in our records. Like we teach you and tell you time and time again, we have these records for a reason. They're no joke. This is what gives us eternal life. That wicked world is what condemns us. Okay?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, read that for me, Baba Kashar.
I don't count. Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous woman?
Read that again.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
Who can find a virtuous woman? Who wrote the book of Proverbs?
King David.
No, King David didn't write it. King Solomon, King David's son, wrote the book of Proverbs. King Solomon. Okay, and King Solomon says, read that again, Baba Kashar.
Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous woman?
Who can find a woman with high morals? Who can find a woman with high morals? Read on.
For her price is far above rubies.
What are rubies worth? Rubies are one of the most precious jewels that this earth and this kingdom possesses, in its ground, in its rocks, in its soil. Read that again, Baba Kashar, from the top.
Verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
Her price is above one of the most precious jewels that this earth harbors, and that is rubies. And if you've got a pot or a nest of diamonds and rubies, you're a wealthy person. So how wealthy are you if you find a virtuous woman, according to King Solomon? You see, does everybody understand this? Okay, so just read that one more time.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For our price is far above rubies.
It's far above rubies. Right. Now we know if you've got a bag of rubies at home, a bag of diamonds, you're rich.
That's right.
Yeah. A virtuous woman is above that.
That's right.
So imagine a woman of high morals, a woman that knows our records, her records, knows her culture, knows her traditions, knows when to talk, knows when to shut a goddamn mouth and listen, knows when to take direction, knows when to take instructions. This is a virtuous woman. according to our records. This is what you should be looking for when you're finding a wife in Israel, you brothers, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And if this is not what you're looking for a demon. You're looking for a wicked-ass woman in that wicked-ass world. And guess what? You're going to find her, and you're going to find your demon. Read that again, Baba Kashar. In fact, jump and read verse 11, Baba Kashar.
Verse 11, the heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her.
Okay, so the heart of our husband, the men in the I.S.U.P.K, we trust in our sisters. Why? Because they are of high morals. They are virtuous women. They've learned our records. They understand our records, and they've applied our culture and traditions to their lives. They've shed themselves of that wicked ass world.
That's right.
Can we all see this? This is the type of women we look for, the brothers look for in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. We're not looking for women in that wicked world.
Yes, that's right.
They're as wicked as hell. We don't want no part of that. Wicked as a woman who wants to come home from work and have a screaming, outrageous woman that's always in your face, arguing, disputing, rebuking, disagreeing with everything that you're trying to show her or put to her. And on top of that, you're a virtuous man. You're not a virtuous man, you're a righteous man. You keep the family together. You not so much you keep the family together, you feed the family, you shelter the family. You're teaching your children right from wrong. You're teaching your children the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. And you've got this maniac sister in the background that you're married to, that cannot take discipline, cannot take correction, cannot take guidance, cannot take direction. Can you imagine? And that's what we're faced with our wicked, these wicked sisters in the world, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Salakia, say that again, sis. The spirit that controls them. Okay, well, the spirit that's on them is a demonic one. It's a demonic spirit. Because the sisters in our school, in the I.S.U.P.K, under Commanding General YAHANNA, they know their traditions and culture. And they are of the spirit of the Most High God. Okay, get me Ephesians 5 and 33, Baba Kashar. Let's move on with these precepts. Any questions in class?
Pretty well so far. I'm enjoying it. Yes, I'm enjoying the lesson.
Well. Any questions in the stream? Okay, Ephesians 5 and 33. Read that for me, Baba Kashar.
The book of Ephesians 5 verse 33. Wives,
never. Ephesians 5 and 33. Nevertheless.
Ephesians 5 verse 33. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife.
Read that again from the top, Baba Kashar.
Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, and even as himself.
Okay, so every brother that finds himself a good wife, let him love that wife as he loves himself. Okay, this is how we should be treating our women. And the only way you're going to treat your woman as you treat yourself is if you find a virtuous woman. So the emphasis is all on finding, when you're finding a wife in Israel, to make sure you go out and seek the right type of woman, a woman that is in the truth. And can anybody answer me, where are you going to find a woman like that?
Only in I.S.U.P.K.
Give that a hand. You're only gonna find a woman of high morals that knows our records, that understands who she is. You will never find a woman of high moral in the church. A lot of these women that are stuck up in the Christian church think that they can teach the men. and they can't,
They don't
according
want
to the
be under the
Bible.
man.
1 Corinthians 11:3. Yeah, they're under the man. You got a question, Mosa?
Wrong understatement. With the Christian church, they are all broken in there, and they are taught to be aggressive, to challenge the husband, and set the kids against the husband when she can't get her way. So basically, there's no virtue in the family, neither in the woman.
Right.
So there's always conflict in the house. If the father tries to school the child, don't listen to him because he don't provide nothing in here for you. I do it all for you.
That's
I
right.
cook, I clean, I wash. Even when the man give her the money to go and get all of these things, she won't say, and the man provide the money for her.
That's right. Damn right. I won't mention no names, but I've got women in my family, bloodline, that are loud mouth louds. They may as well be men the way they talk and they act. Guess what? They're my family and I have nothing to do with them whatsoever. The Bible says you can bring this truth to the individual 3-4 times. If they do not get it, let them go. They do not possess the spirit of the Most High God. And I've got women in my family that are loaded, fully loaded with demons.
Wow.
Okay, and we're in here battling demons every day. So the last thing I want is to put myself around people that have accepted these demons and given into these demons and promote these demons. Okay, and that's what we should be steering away from when we're seeking or looking to find a wife in Israel. Okay, we are going to do a part 2 on this and flip the coin. Finding a husband, one for the sisters next week. Mozart, you might want to do it, or I'll do it the following week. But this week is finding a wife in Israel. And if that woman that you seek is not of high morals, leave her the hell alone. Stay the hell away from her, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian brothers, because she is going to bring nothing but trouble and problems to your doorstep.
Yes, that's true.
Guaranteed.
That's right.
Guaranteed. Have we finished that in Ephesians?
It's true thing. True.
And the wife see that her reference, her husband.
Read that again, Baba Kashar.
And the wife see that she reverence her husband.
Okay, read that again from the top, Baba Kashar.
The book of Ephesians 5 verse 33. Nevertheless, every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself. And the wife see that she reverence her husband.
Okay, so when you've got a woman of high morals in your family home, and you're married to her, and she sees that you deal with her correctly, properly, you deal with her as you would deal with yourself, yeah, as you deal with your children, a righteous man. She reverences you. Can anybody tell me what reverence means without looking it up?
Reverence means honor.
Good, that's very close. I'll take honor, respect. Respect.
Yes.
So can you imagine you've got a wife you adorn, and she's a virtuous woman, a woman of high morals. She sees that you deal with her correctly. She's never going to change. She's always going to keep them high morals. Imagine if the man is not dealing with the woman correctly, righteously. Imagine the man's not dealing with the children correctly, righteously. You could be pushing that virtuous woman back into the Christian church.
That's right.
Okay, so there's two sides to the coin, but this is the type of woman we should be looking for. And according to Ephesians 5:33, this woman will always, a virtuous woman will always acknowledge and respect you. You understand? And honor you because of how you are. She knows what you've got. You've got something above rubies, above diamonds, above pearls and emeralds. Okay? And you, if you're a righteous brother, you're going to deal with her how the Bible tells you to deal with her. okay, correctly, always coming correct, always with the right guidance, direction, instructions, and she will respect you. If she's a virtuous woman, if she's in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, she will respect and honor you forever. Nothing's not going to change. Nothing ain't going to change. If she's a sister in the I.S.U.P.K, you can guarantee you have got a jewel far above any ruby, far above any diamond. And that's in our records. Okay, while our women are stuck up in that wicked world, stuck up in that Christian church, listening to that Rastafarian nonsense, they're always going to have big mouths. They're always going to be stubborn. They're always going to have behavior like men. They're never going to listen to instructions, take directions. This is the type of women we should be staying away from. Give me Matthew 19 and 9, Bible Kasha. Any questions in class?
No.
Any questions in the stream?
Matthew 19.
Matthew 19, verse. Let's start from verse. Start from verse 9, Bible Kasha.
The book of Matthew 9, verse 19.
Okay, just before we start, this is red writing. Does everybody know what red writing is in the Bible, in the New Testament?
That's when Christ speaks.
This is when Christ speaking. And just for anybody in the stream or in class that don't know, the New Testament and the Old Testament are not separate, like we're taught in the Christian church. All the books were written by the same people, Hebrew Israelites, in its entirety, all 80 scrolls, all 80 books. The only difference between the Old and the New is the Old Testament was recorded in ancient Hebrew. The New Testament was recorded in Greek. Okay, but they both translate into ancient English. Ancient English. Okay, so these languages were ancient Greek and ancient Hebrew. They came from ancient languages that were translated into ancient English, not modern English like the NIV, the Schofield, or some of the Schofields, or the Good News Bible, which are garbage. I'm not going to say they're garbage, but what I will say is we don't subscribe to them. We subscribe to the King James Version, which is in the ancient Hebrew. Direct translations from the Greek and the Hebrew. So don't let your Christian pastor, any of you in the stream, anyone in the audience, do not let your Christian pastor teach you nonsense out of Bibles they shouldn't be teaching out of. And always ask your Christian pastor, why haven't you got a King James Version in your church? That's the first thing that I would, if I was in that Christian church, which I never would be, that's the first thing I'd want to know. Where have all the King James Versions gone? Okay, but read that Bible, Kashar. Okay. So just to let you know, when your Christian pastor's telling you the old and the new are separate books, the old is done away with and the new is been brought in by Christ, by the Apostle Paul, by the apostles Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, that's nonsense. The whole book is in its entirety. The only difference is the Old Testament is a translation from Hebrew, and the New Testament is a translation from Greek. Okay, so the New Testament was recorded in Greek, the Old Testament was recorded in Hebrew. Read that from your Bible, sure.
The book of Matthew 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery.
Read that again, Bible, sure.
Verse 9, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery.
Okay, so this is red writing. So this is Christ talking. And Christ says divorce is illegal. You're committing adultery. You can't put away your wife. Putting away your wife is serving divorce papers on her. That is illegal. in our culture, in our law, and in our traditions. And this was recorded by Moses. This is our King, our Lord, Hamashiach Yahawashi in the Hebrew, Jesus Christ, as the world ignorantly calls him. This is Christ reiterating one of the laws of Moses: marriage is for life. And this is why we have these 6 months periods of protocol in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. You shouldn't be meeting a woman on Wednesday, taking her for dinner Thursday, taking her to the club Friday, and taking her to the hotel Friday night and sleeping with her. While you're in that Christian church and in that wicked world, you don't understand the Bible. You don't understand that you're married to her. According to Christ, according to our law, according to the Most High God, you're bonded with that woman for life. Once you take your rod and lay with that woman, you are bonded with her for life. There's no getting out of this. There's no sneaking around the corner. There's no one pop. There's no two pop. There's no, I'm going round here, I'm going back to my family home. Once you lay with a sister, you're married and bonded with her for life, according to our records and according to the Most High God. They don't understand that. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
Matthew 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery.
Committeth adultery. So Christ says divorce is illegal. Even marrying a woman who is separated from her husband is to be left alone. If you meet a woman that is separated from her husband, say you've got a woman that's married to a man and the man is separated from the woman for 6 months, 3 months. It might be through work. It might be through war. He might have got a second wife and just been away from this one periodically. They might have even rowed and he's packed a suitcase and left. You can't go and lie with that woman. That's adultery. She's still married to that man, according to our records. Read on, Baba Kasha.
And whosoever married her, which is put away, doeth commit adultery.
Read that again, Baba Kasha.
And whosoever married her, which is put away, doeth commit adultery.
And there you go. And that's what we've just touched on. And this is Christ. This is red writing. Okay. We have our King, Hamashiach Yahawashi, Jesus Christ, reiterating one of the laws of Moses. This is adultery. You cannot sleep with a woman just because she's separated from her man. For whatever reason she's separated, whether they've rowed and separated and gone their separate ways periodically, or whether he's away at work, away at war, you enter his home, you enter that house and sleep with that woman, you're committing adultery. And adultery is punishable by death in Israel. And this is why we've got to do these types of classes, finding a wife in Israel, because you might be looking in the wrong places for a wife. And if you're in that world, I guarantee, if you're not in the I.S.U.P.K, you're always going to be looking in the wrong places for a wife. You're not going to be seeking in the right places for a wife. The real virtuous women, the real high moral sisters in this world, you're only going to find in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. You're not going to find them anywhere else. Our sisters know what time it is. Our sisters know what's going on. And if you're messing about with them women, them sisters in the Christian church, in the mosque, in that wicked ass world, good night. It's over. It's a done deal. You're just as demonic as they are. Okay, is there any more on that? Is there any more on that, Musa?
Can you read number 10?
Laha, drop that. Drop that. Get me Ecclesiasticus. In the Apocrypha. 26 and 26 and Yeah, verse 25, Barbara.
The book of Ecclesiasticus 26, verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
A what?
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
Okay, so these Christians in the Christian church will tell you, God doesn't curse. God doesn't use foul language. You won't find terms like curse terms in the Bible. The word bitch is in the Bible. The term bitch, these women, these shameless women are bitches. Let's break it down. Let's have a look at it and dissect this precept. Read that again, Barbara Kashar. And I'll tell you why we're gonna break this down and look at it carefully, because you didn't actually hear the term bitch, but bitch is in the Bible. The term bitch is in the Bible, but you try and explain this to your pastor in the church. He will call you a liar, and he's the only goddamn liar concerning the breakdown of these precepts. You got something, Moses?
Okay. Likewise, shit is in the Bible, because God says shall turn you into a pile of dung. We know what dung is.
There you go. So and there's no getting out of this. There's no getting away from this. So
when they hear a brother or sister say, don't touch my shit, they get the term from the Bible. It's just not as vulgarized as we use it in this time.
Damn right. Damn right. Read that again, Barbara.
So okay. Ecclesiasticus 26, verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
A what?
Counted as a dog.
Read it from the top, Barbara Kashar.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Now, this isn't recorded as a shameless man being the dog. It's recorded as a shameless woman being the dog. What is a female dog?
A bitch.
How the hell do you get out of this? How the hell is the pastor going to break this down? The pastor says that bitch is not in the Bible, but clearly it is right here. A female dog is a bitch. Read that again, Barbara Kashar.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Read on.
But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord.
So look for a woman that will honor you, because this woman will find favor with the Most High God. Okay, the second part of that precept, read that again all the way through, Barbara.
The book of Ecclesiasticus 26, verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord.
She that is shamefaced, yes. She carries her shame,
that's right.
Owns her shame. Yes. Yeah, she will be she that repents, atones. She that is shamefaced wouldn't dare do this. Yes. Wouldn't dare eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Wouldn't dare leave her man and go and sleep with another man. Wouldn't dare feed her children pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Wouldn't dare celebrate Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day. Wouldn't dare go and lay with another woman because she's too shamefaced. Right. She finds favor with the Most High God. But the shameless woman is a goddamn bitch.
Yes. So is it because she doesn't know better or what?
It's because she's in that wicked world. It's because she's not in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. It's because we went through 400 years of slavery and we was indoctrinated by the oppressor. And our women have become like the oppressor. So have our men. We have become like them. And that's why in our protocol, in our security announcements, in our protocol, we salute the women. The men must salute the women for 6 months. And then we must, if you like the woman, you will approach her, talk to her, take her number, start courting her for another 6 months. That's a year-long period before you marry the woman. There's none of this going to the club. Like our women dress up like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj in pom-pom shorts and batty riders. They go to the club and they've got all their body parts hanging out, and they're in the hotel at 4 a.m, sleeping with the man, having sex with the man. And one time we'd be complaining that the man would take the woman to the hotel Friday, Saturday night, sleep with her and block her Sunday and have a next chick in the hotel the next weekend. Now, the Cardi B's and the Nicki Minaj's of this world, they're the ones that are taking the men to the hotel, letting the men pay for the hotel room, sexing the men, and it's the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B types that are blocking the men Sunday and got a new man next weekend. And that is an abomination to the Most High God.
They are selling themselves.
Our women are turning into a nation of Cardi B's and Nicki Minaj's.
Wow. That's right.
This is what our nation is producing now. A generation of women that are tarnished, flawed, and abominable to the Most High God. And I'm not saying the women from aforetime were not abominable. We had witches, we had sexual deviants. We've always had women that were fornicators, okay? But today it's heightened because there's so many of them. Do you understand? There's so many of them.
That's right.
For you to own up as a brother, to hold your hand up and say you've got women like this in your family in this wicked world, that shows you it's right on our doorstep.
That's right.
It's everywhere you look in our communities, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women. And imagine to come out of that wickedness, all you have to do is get yourself down to the I.S.U.P.K, your local I.S.U.P.K school, and start learning.
From the Bible, that's right.
Start learning our records.
That's right.
To come out of that wickedness and that demonic lifestyle that you're living, and start understanding what you mean to the Most High God and what you can become, your potential. Because our women do not know their worth. That's right. So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian woman, our sisters do not know their worth.
And then because of that, sorry, I don't cut you. Hardly find people, ladies getting married anymore. Hardly.
Our women believe that they can make it on their own now, as long as they've got the support of the state.
Or as you say, every week they take a different man to the hotel.
There you go.
Yes.
And they'll get £100 out of this man, £500 out of this man, a car out of this man, a holiday out of this man. Well, hold on, 4 months have passed and you've just made marriages with 4 men in 4 short months. But if you was in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, you'd go at least a year, 12 months before you even thought or contemplated marriage or sleeping, laying with a man and making marriage. And once you do that with an I.S.U.P.K brother, you've got a strong family home for life and for the rest of your days. And this is what we don't understand. And this is what we're caught up in and lost in the moment, in that wicked world. We don't understand that. And I've got women in my family that are part of that demonic way of life. And I've tried to bring them into the truth. I won't have nothing to do with them. There's only so much work you can do in this truth. You understand?
You can't force it on people.
You cannot force it on people. They're either, the Most High God's either dealing with them or he's not.
Yes.
Every sister and brother you see in the I.S.U.P.K under the command of General YAHANNA, they have found favor with the Most High God because they are of his spirit.
Yes. That's right.
Are we all following this? Do we all understand this?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is there any more on that, Baba Kashar? But read verse 25 again, Baba Kashar.
The book of Ecclesiasticus 26 verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
A bitch, read.
But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord.
Okay, so if you're shamefaced, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian sisters, yeah, if you are truly shamefaced, you're earnest, you're honest, you're virtuous, you have high morals. You're so shamefaced, you wouldn't dare go and do the things that our sisters are doing in that wicked world. And that's what you get in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General YAHANNA. Do we all follow this? Is there any questions? Read verse 26 for me, Baba Kasha.
Verse 26, a woman that honored her husband shall be judged wise of all.
There you go. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
26, a woman that honored her husband shall be judged wise of all.
Read on.
But she that dishonored him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
And here's that word term, pride. Pride is one of the biggest destructive components in Israel, amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. Look, so listen, you brothers, finding a wife in Israel. Always look for a woman that will honor you, because this woman will find favor with the Most High God. Okay? But if she's prideful, she won't have the virtues that you're looking for in a wife. She will not be a virtuous woman. She will not be righteous. She will not have high morals. She will not be a good listener. She will not be a good mate, a good aid, a good helper. Like the Most High God gave you that wife as a helper. She won't have a humble bone in her body. Do we all get this?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, give me Proverbs 18 and 22. Any questions in the stream, Officer Moser?
The book of Proverbs 18 verse 22.
Oh, just hold it one sec. Salakia. Yeah, when you're ready, Baba.
Proverbs 18 verse 22. Whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
Read that again.
Whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
So why is your goddamn Christian pastor telling you it's all right to divorce? Why is that wicked world saying, made it lawful to divorce your wife, to divorce your husband? When King Solomon, through the Spirit of the Most High God, says what? What's he say here?
Whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtain favor of the Lord.
Okay, so finding a wife in Israel is a good thing. It's a good thing. And as we know through the law, we don't believe in divorce. In our records in Israel, there's no such thing as divorce. You can't put your wife away. The only way you can move on or put your wife away is if she fornicates or commits adultery. If she goes and sleeps with another man. If she doesn't, you're going to be bonded with her forever until you hit the grave or until she does. That's when the natural separation occurs. The carnal, the physical separation. That's when it occurs, when your wife dies. If she doesn't die and she doesn't commit adultery, you're with her forever. So this is why it's so important when you're finding a wife to find the right type of woman, the correct wife. Okay, and you're only going to find her in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
Verse 22, Proverbs 18 verse 22. Whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtain favor of the Lord.
A blessing from the Most High God. Okay, having a wife in Israel is the natural order. It's natural to have a wife. You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian brothers. Okay, and it says right here in King Solomon's records, you will find favor. You will obtain favor with the Most High God. Okay, and to obtain favor, you can count your blessings, because if you've got a good wife, a virtuous wife, a woman of high morals, that alone is a blessing. That's a gift from the Most High God. Okay, if you're stuck in that wicked world, in that Christian church, and you find a wife from our nation, from one of the heathen nations, you can bet your bottom dollar that's a damn curse. That is not a blessing, because she is not going to have any familiarity with her records, with our records. She's not going to be living how she's supposed to live. She's not going to be how she's supposed to be. Why she's in that church, why she's in that world. And let's not forget, yeah, there's laws. We're not allowed to make marriages with these heathen nations anyway. So even if you're up in that church and you marry a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian sister, it's still a curse. It's still a curse according to our records. A blessing is a woman that is finding a woman that is virtuous, finding a woman that is right, finding a woman with high morals that are keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. And you can't find that in the Christian church. Yes. You're never going to find that in the Christian church. Read that again for me, Baba Kashar.
Khan. The book of Proverbs 18, verse 22. Whosoever findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, and obtain favor of the Lord.
And who doesn't want favor with the Lord? If you're in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, who doesn't want a blessing? That's right. You won't find a brother or sister in here that turns their back on a blessing.
That's right.
You will not find a brother or sister in the I.S.U.P.K that turns their back on obtaining favor with the Lord. Most of us have lived damn near destructive lives, most of our child and adult lives. Yeah, when you come into the truth, you know that is through the Spirit of the Most High God. You've shed yourself of that wicked world because the Most High God has allowed you to. That's a blessing alone. And then everything else that follows that is a blessing. Being given a wife, a virtuous wife, a family, children, understanding. These are all blessings that we snatch up with both hands. We'd never turn our back on a blessing. Read that again for me, Baba Kashar, one more time.
Whosoever findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, and obtain favor of the Lord.
There you go. Obtain favor with the Lord. Okay, so finding a wife, a woman of high morals, that is a blessing. That is a blessing. Any questions? Do we all understand this? Do we all follow this?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, give me Proverbs 12 and 4, Baba Kashar. Let's just jump back a couple of chapters. When you're ready, Baba Kashar, Officer Moses.
Proverbs 12 verse 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
A what?
A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
A virtuous woman, a woman of high morals, is what?
A crown to her husband.
A crown to her husband. What do we find in crowns?
Precious jewels.
Precious jewels, emeralds, pearls, diamonds, rubies. Yeah. So when you find that woman of high morals, this is all throughout the Bible. It's not just in the law. It's not just in the New Testament. It's not just in the Old. It's throughout. We must be looking for a virtuous woman, a woman of high morals. We shouldn't be looking for a sexual deviant, a whore, a stripper, a drug-dealing woman, a woman that associates herself with evilness. That's what we should be staying away from. When we're finding a wife in Israel, all we need to know is this woman of high morals? And that woman of high morals will be found in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. It's no use. We're trying to steer you away from the church, the mosque, that ridiculous Rastafarian doctrine. But there's other places that our women are residing in, and that is some of these fake Israelite groups, you know. And if If our sisters are in these fake Israelite groups, they might as well be in the church or the mosque. They are not virtuous women. They're being taught they're virtuous women, but they're being lied to. Okay? The only place you're going to find that high moral woman is here. One of our sisters in the UPK.
Because you people teach the truth, yeah?
We teach the truth since 1969.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And we just give thanks that we had such a great leader like Commanding General YAHANNA, because without him, this would not have been possible.
So who is this Commanding General YAHANNA?
Commanding General YAHANNA is the head of our is the head of our organization. We've got photos of him all over the wall. Okay.
Yes.
There's 7 generals.
Right.
In the I.S.U.P.K.
Yes.
Under Commanding General YAHANNA, and General YAHANNA is the head.
Okay.
Is the head, and we've got schools all around the world.
Okay.
All around Central and South America, all around the Caribbean, and in Europe.
All right.
Okay.
In the Caribbean as well?
Yes, yeah, in the Bahamas, in Trinidad, in Jamaica, all Barbados, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all throughout the Caribbean.
Okay.
We've got schools in Europe. We've got schools in the UK.
Yes.
Okay, so there's nowhere the Most High God will not touch with this truth. There's no part of the 4 corners of this world where we've been scattered to where General YAHANNA hasn't spread the word of the Most High God, the true records of the Most High God.
Right.
And that is the One West Doctrine, the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA.
Okay.
This is where you find the sisters that are virtuous, the sisters of high morals.
Right.
This is where we look for our wives.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Where we at?
Genesis 12 verse 4.
12 and 4. Yeah, read that again, Baba Kasha.
Okay. The book of Genesis 12 verse 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is a rotten in her bone.
And this is the importance of choosing the right wife. You know, because when you choose a wife, remember it's for life. There's no such thing as divorce in Israel. This is for life. So you've got to be prudent. You've got to be earnest. You've got to be honest with yourself when you're choosing a wife. Yes. And there's many sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. Not all of them are for you. Many of them and most of them will be married already.
Yes.
But the ones that are not married, that's where the brothers in the UPK should be looking for a sister. And that's where we do look for a wife. Okay? We won't be looking outside of that in one of the other fake Israelite groups or one of the other fake Israelite organizations, just because a sister's walking up and down the place saying she's an Israelite. And she's in the truth. Because guess what? She's not. She's not.
Okay.
Do we all get this?
Yes. You think maybe they think they know the truth, but they don't.
Yeah. Because a lot of these fake Israelite groups, they're making marriages with the brothers and sisters, and it's they might as well be in the world, because these marriages are lasting 6 months and breaking down.
Okay.
You don't find that in I.S.U.P.K.
Yes.
You do not find that in I.S.U.P.K. and the Commanding General YAHANNA. The sisters and brothers that marry stay together for life.
So that means in this organization, you marry your wife, you wouldn't beat your wife. Yes.
Yeah, no, we don't put our hands on our women.
Beat your wife.
Our women take instructions perfectly well.
Okay, they don't.
Our women, our sisters take directions perfectly well. They're submissive, strong women, strong submissive women. They're not weak sexual deviants.
Yes. So they're not coming into the relationship to give you all of that. They won't give you
No,
trouble.
they're not. Our sisters are not
Yes.
argumentative.
That's
They
right.
they have their own mouths. They have their own voices. They have their own brains, but they let the men of the Most High God, the priests and prophets before you, guide them.
That's right.
You know, and what might that entail? It might entail the sisters guiding the children, which it does.
Yes.
Okay, but ultimately the man will teach the children. Okay, it's all right for our sisters to go out and give this word to another sister.
Right.
You know, so imagine you was in the I.S.U.P.K for 5 years and you had a neighbor that was a sister and she was in the Christian church. You could give her this truth and bring her to the school. Okay, but you won't be teaching the men in the school. Do we all follow this? Do we all follow that?
Yes.
Okay,
what
what's
supposed to be the head in it?
Khan? Yes, yeah. Okay, Genesis 2:24, Baba Kashar. The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 24. Read that when you're ready, Officer Mozart, Baba Kashar.
Okay. The book of Genesis 2, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Okay, so one day a man will leave his parents, a boy turns into a man, leaves the family home. Oh, you're both gonna be on the same. We're gonna read. When you find a wife, you're gonna cleave to her. Why are you gonna cleave to her? You're both gonna be on the same page. You're both gonna be like one body and same accord, on one accord. You understand? Read that from the top again, Baba Kashar.
Genesis 2, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his wife, leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
There you go. They will be one flesh. They'll be on the same page. You follow this? You understand this? They'll be on the same page. Read verse 25, Baba Kashar.
Verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Okay.
So do you want to break that down, Officer Mozart, for the sister? They were both naked and were not ashamed.
Okay. Because the Bible in euphemism and allegory, this could mean like not they can be physically naked, but likewise it could be in righteousness, they're clothed in righteousness.
There you go. And what another thing you've got to remember when we're reading verse 24, jumping back up to verse 24, how you both going to be on the same page if your wife is not virtuous? If you choose a woman in the Most High God here through the prophet Moses, these are the records of the prophet Moses, is saying, you shall cleave to your wife and you will both be of one flesh. Do you understand that? How are you going to be of one flesh? How are you and your wife going to be on the same page if you haven't sought the right woman, a sister in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA? If you've gone and got a woman out of the church, how are you and her going to be on the same page? How does that work? And she doesn't believe in the Bible. She believes in what she's told. She's never picked a Bible up in her life and read it. She's never been to the I.S.U.P.K and had the breakdowns by the priests and prophets of the Most High God. All she's ever heard is the opinion of the pastor in the church, which is talking out of his own heart. He adds and he takes away from the true doctrine, the true breakdown of our records. There you go. There you go. So if you haven't got a virtuous woman or a woman of high morals, a sister from the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, how the hell are you both going to be on the same page? Finding a wife in Israel will be one of the most important things our young brothers ever do in this life. Because this is for life, finding a wife. It's forever. Do we all get this and do we all follow this? Yeah? What time are we on?
45.
Okay, let's we've got a few more precepts to go through. You got anything you want to add, Officer Moser?
Laha, sir.
No? Laha? Okay, sister, any questions?
No, because I fully understand what you're saying to me so far. And I'm enjoying the lesson as well. Thank you.
Tawada, of course.
Could I just pop to you, Lou?
Yeah, help yourself, sis. Help yourself.
Yeah.
Give me Deuteronomy 24, Baba Kasha. We'll start at verse 1. Officer Moser. Read that when you're ready, Baba Kasha.
The book of Deuteronomy 24, verse 1. When a man had taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanness in her, then let him write a letter.
A bill.
Let him write a bill of divorce and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house.
Okay, read that again. Read. Just take your time, Baba Kasha.
Deuteronomy 24, verse 1. When a man had taken a wife and married her, and it came to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because she had found some because he had found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorce and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. Okay,
what uncleanness do you think that Moses is talking about here when he's recorded this? Because this is a law. This is a law amongst the 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. What is Moses talking about when he says, if the man has found some uncleanness in her?
It could be that she's a woman of stubborn spirit. It could be that she still hasn't given up the world.
She's a lawbreaker. Okay? She's a lawbreaker. And that's the uncleanness Moses is talking about. If you have chosen one, and this is why we've got this protocol. This is why UPK has got this protocol. So we don't choose a wife that next week, next month, next year, you might find uncleanness in. You might find out that really she's been cooking you pork every Sunday and telling you it was chicken. She's been fornicating and committing adultery behind your back. She's been breaking the dietary laws and giving your children shrimp, crab, and lobster behind your back. You find some kind of uncleanness about this woman that makes you need to serve her a bill of divorce, writ. Okay? And that's perfectly lawful if she's a lawbreaker, if she's unclean or filthy to the Most High God. Okay? And according to Moses, this is lawful. Okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to send her the bill of divorce. Okay? Read that again, Baba Kashar.
Deuteronomy 24, verse 1.
And just before, this law must be understood. We must understand this law. We've got the breakdown of this law from General YAHANNA. We've got to teach it exactly how we've been taught it, because you're not gonna get the understanding of these laws, the marital laws, the sex laws in the Christian church. It's all upside down over there.
That's right.
It's all upside down over there. Okay, so we've got to get the correct understanding of these marital laws, so we know when we're seeking a wife, we go out and find a woman of high morals, the right wife that you know is never going to break these laws. She's never going to turn her back away or face away from God. She's never going to dishonor the memory of our King and Savior, Hamashiach Yahushai, Jesus Christ. She's never going to dishonor or disrespect her husband. She's never going to be vile to her children. She's never going to wander back into that world and break these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. Do we all follow this? Yeah. If you marry a sister and divorce her through her filthiness, whatever her fornicating may be, she can marry again. Do we understand this? We're going to read about it now. Read on, Baba Kasha. Let's finish up here and then we'll get to the question.
Verse 24, Proverbs 24, verse 1. When a man...
No. Deuteronomy. Get it right.
Deuteronomy 24, verse 1.
No, verse 2.
And when he is departed and when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
There you go. And that's the cruncher. There's the deal. If you serve her a bill of divorce for her uncleanness, it's a legal divorce, according to Moses. This is legitimate. Once you're done and dusted, she can remarry, because this is a legal divorce. You've not committed adultery and forced her into adultery. You've not broke the law. She's the one you found fault with. You've served her a bill of divorce. You are legally divorced in Israel. Now, I did say earlier, there's no such thing as divorce in Israel unless she dies or commits adultery. Okay? But if she's breaking the law and she's unclean to the Most High God, then you have a right to divorce her. Okay? But this doesn't happen in the I.S.U.P.K because our sisters are of high morals. They know our records and they keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. You can't find this in the Christian church.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Verse 3, Baba Kasha.
Verse 3. And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send it her out of his house, or if the latter husband died, which took her to be his wife.
Right, we're going to go on and read verse 4. But does everybody get the gist of this in verse 3? Okay. If a man marries a woman in Israel and you find her unclean and she's breaking these laws or committing adultery or she's a fornicator, and you serve her a bill of divorce and she moves on to a second husband, and the second husband finds her unclean and divorces her, or he dies, we're going to find out now in verse 4, it might be 6 years, 6 months down the line since you divorced her, and you've decided in your head you still love her, you still want her, you still like her. That's a demon on you. That's lust. That's not the spirit, because she was unclean in the first place. You left her. You knew she wasn't right. You cannot then go back to her and remarry her. That is against the law. Okay, so a woman you've been married to in the past and left, and she's been with another man, if them two break up or he dies, you cannot go back to her, your ex, which happens every day in that wicked world, which happens every single week in that wicked ass Christian church. Does it not?
That's right.
This doesn't happen in Israel. This doesn't happen in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General YAHANNA. We've got these records for a reason. We've got laws, statutes, and commandments, and we keep them.
That's right.
This is what makes us different to the other fake Israelite groups. This is why we're not wicked like those demons in the Christian church, in the Islamic mosque. Okay, let's finish up with verse 4, Baba.
Okay. Verse 4. Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again, to be his wife. After that, she is defiled.
She is what?
She is defiled.
She is what?
She is defiled.
Read.
For that is abomination before the Lord.
It is what?
Abomination before the Lord.
Read.
And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance.
So if that husband puts her away or dies, yeah, you cannot then decide you want her back because you're lonely or horny or even still in love with her. Or you think you're still in love with her. You're in lust with her. So like you, because
you found her unclean in the first place.
You divorced her. Yeah. She was breaking the law. She was a fornicator or whatever reason you found her unclean. Yes. Okay. You put her away and she will never belong to you again, according to the Most High God. We have these records for a reason, and without them, we're nothing.
That's right.
You got a question? You got a question online?
Question online.
This might be
it.
Who?
Salaki, sir. If the wife is an heathen, would this law still apply?
The law applies, period. The law doesn't end anywhere. When we come out of this wicked world, sister, and we come into the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, we're leaving a world spiritually. Physically, we're still in that world. We still have to abide by that world's laws, statutes, and commandments. But guess what? We've got laws that are higher than that carnal world.
That's right.
So we're only leaving that world spiritually. We're making a spiritual change. We're coming into the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, and we're going to be different. No longer are we going to marry these heathen. But if you're already married to one of these heathen women, the law still applies.
That's right.
The law still applies, sister. So I hope that's answered your question. Yeah, the law doesn't end just because you've made that spiritual change and left the world. You're still living in that carnal world. You just don't behave like you used to in that carnal world. You're now of the spirit of the Most High God.
That's right.
Okay, let's finish off at Hebrews 13:4, Baba Kashar. Just put a Khan or Lahar in the stream, sis. Please, if Baba Kashar, if that answered your question or not. If not, we'll go into it in more detail. It might have to be next week though, sis, because we're about to finish the class. So
Hebrews 13 verse 1.
Hebrews. My gosh. Hebrews 13 and 4.
The book of Hebrews 13 verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed is undefiled.
Read that again.
Verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
Okay, so finding a wife is good, but let it be done in order. Finding a wife is good, but let it be done in order. We've got a 12-month protocol period here before you can marry, before you can have a wife in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. Read. This is for a reason.
But a whoremonger and idolater, God will judge.
Read that again.
Marriage is honorable in heart and bed undefiled, but whoremongers and idolaters, God will judge.
No, not idolaters, adulterers. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. Now, let me tell you something, yeah? Anything that is not in our records and deemed out of order or unrighteous will be punished. And that is what is in these records right here in Hebrews 13 and 4. Marriage is honorable. Okay, it's good to have a wife. It's honorable when two become one from opposite sexes.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, yeah. But whoremongers up in that Christian church, adulterers in that wicked ass world are going to be punished. You're not going to get away with your adultery. You're not going to get away with your fornication. You might get away with it for a period of time, but it's going to catch up with you because everybody's going to face this judgment. Everybody. Even the brothers and sisters you see before you. But because we're keeping these laws, our judgment's going to be different to the judgment you see amongst the heathen, amongst the so-called Black, Hispanic, and natives in the Christian church, in the mosque, in the Rastafarian doctrine, in the fake Israelite groups. Yeah? Do we all follow this? Do we all get this? Okay? Whoremongers and adulterers are going to be punished. It says here they're going to be judged. Judgment is a punishment. A judgment is a punishment or what's the opposite to punishment? Because your judgment might be a prize. It might be a blessing. So not every judgment is going to be a punishment. So our judgment in the I.S.U.P.K, we're praying and hoping for mercy. We're praying and hoping for blessings. We're praying and hoping that when we're judged, we have done the right thing, which we know we have, because we've got our records for a reason, and all we have to do is stick to the guidelines, stick to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God to get a righteous judgment, good judgment.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. But all the rest of these heathen, all the Gentiles in the Christian church, in the mosque, in so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, in the Rastafarian doctrine, their judgment is going to be punishable. Do we all follow this?
That's right.
There's a law in Leviticus 18 and 6 regarding incest. We haven't got time for it. It's the laws of incest. When you're finding a wife, you brothers in the stream or listening or learning in the school, yeah. When you're finding a wife, there's certain women that are off the menu. That's okay, right. And they are women in your family, and all the women you can read about that are considered as an incestuous relationship, that are bloodline in your family, or maybe even an in-law, you'll find in the book of Leviticus, the 18th chapter. Start from verse 6, and you will find out what type of women, and there will be family members that you must stay away from when you're seeking a wife, finding a wife in Israel. And with that, I'm going to call the class. Clap it up. I'm going to hand the class over to Officer of 50 Mozart for the I.S.U.P.K security announcements.
This is the I.S.U.P.K started out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves off the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head of the school to marry. Tithes which is a commandment. Numbers 18 verse 21, Malachi 3 verse 8 to 10. Means tithes in the Hebrew, mahashara, 10% of every penny, and of any increase the Lord give you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, Wednesday.
The 16th of October. Wednesday, the 16th of October, the Feast of Tabernacles.
Wednesday, the 16th of October, the Feast of Tabernacles. Announcement. Upcoming Holy Convocation. Announce Holy Convocation from sheet. Remind Akim and Akiawat to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband / scarf. And with that,
Imagine.
We're gonna give the teacher.
No, we're gonna give the teacher one courtesy salute. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Rock.
Yehovah
Shimyon Shai Brakadam.
Yajamata Sa. And with that,
turn and face the sisters from courtesy salutes.
Sisters, stand up for a second.
We're gonna give the sister one courtesy salute.
we're gonna give the sister one courtesy salute. Ahawa, wash it.
Men of Israel.
Men of Israel. Imadiam Shabbat. Imadiam Barak.
Yahweh Shemai Ladaba Shimyon Shai.
Yajamata. Class dismissed.
Also, you get in there. Mozart, can you stream please?
Tawada to everybody. Lord Allah, we'll see you next week.
Mozart,
Shalom, Lord in Christ.
cancel that first.
All the Akyam.